Welcome back to Awesome Possum Hobbies and Games. I'm Chris, and today we are opening up a brand new box of play boosters of Murder at Karlov Manor. Let's go. So today is February 2nd, 2024. It is pre-release day of Murder at Karlov Manor. So if you have a local game store, I recommend heading down to your local game store today, tomorrow, and the next day, all the way through the 8th to play in a pre-release event. Pre-releases are so much fun. It's a great way to play sealed and explore the new cards. But before we open up, let's go ahead and go over the box topper. So if you go through and buy a box at your local game store, you also get what's called the box topper, which is something they include with almost every single release. When you buy at your local game store, you buy a whole box, they throw in a promo card, which is specific for, it says buy a box. And this one's Wojak Investigator, 1 white, 2 colorless, Creature Angel Detective 2/4, Flying Vigilance. So that's already pretty decent stats, especially for an angel. It goes in quite a few different decks. At the beginning of your upkeep, investigate once for each opponent who has more cards in hand than you. So, if you play a commander deck, this card can get pretty crazy, especially if you're playing with a lot of cheaper cards in your deck. If you're going to have less cards in your hand, maybe you're going to get a lot of investigation tokens, clue tokens, which is going to be a lot of fun to be able to draw some extra cards, or if you have an artifacts mana deck, etc., etc. Let's go ahead and go on into the box. So this is a play booster box, something that is brand new for this set. This replaces the old draft and also set boosters by merging them all into one. One box of cards is going to have 36 packs, just like a draft booster box, unlike the set booster packs, which only had 30, but the content of each booster pack is going to feel more like a set booster because of the fact that you're going to have options for more rares. The only thing that's going to be missing is not every set booster pack or play booster pack is going to be like a set booster pack. You're going to be randomly getting those art cards / advertisement / tokens. That slot is very randomized. So let's go ahead and check it out. I've already scored the back, so let's go ahead and get into this packaging. One of the things I've mentioned previously on this is, you're paying a lot for an individual box. I wish they had gone through and done something to show that this is sealed. That plastic, just because they have marking on one side doesn't mean it's necessarily going to mean that you're going to be getting a box that hasn't been tampered with. Having some kind of seal on it would feel a lot better, especially because the bundle packs can be like that. Why can't Wizards put the extra 2-cent sticker on here just to make it so it feels like it hasn't been tampered with? Let's go ahead and go into it, and then mystery file, the weird window. Well, we'll almost, I'm not going to go into that stuff right now. 36 whole packs for us to go through and open and see what kind of goodies we can get out of this new set. My feel for this set is it's quite complex. There's a lot of extra rules in here that we'll see when we go through and open these packs that you're not going to see in most other things. It has some of the more complicated rules in there. Lots of clue tokens, lots of ways. They have a new morph mechanic, which I was never really a fan of in the first place. If it just feels like it's an extra step, which, it's fun in a draft environment where you can go through and play a creature at a cheaper cost. So you'll have something in play if your hand gets stuck with a bunch of its expensive things. But overall, I don't know how much play you're going to see those in. Those cards aren't seen much in Commander. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we get. First one's an art card. There we go. One of the full art mountains. I'm not really a fan of these. They all kind of feel and look very similar. Full card, a Killer Among Us. 1 green, 4 colorless. When a Killer Among Us enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human creature token, a 1/1 blue merfolk creature token, and a 1/1 goblin creature token. Then secretly choose human, merfolk, or goblin. Sacrifice a Killer Among Us and reveal the chosen creature type. If target attacking creature token is chosen this type. Put 3+1/+1 counters on it, and it gains Death Touch till end of turn. So, it's a little fun little card. Here's the actual rare from the set, from the pack. Lost in the Maze, 2 blue, X colorless. Enchantment Flash. When Lost in the Maze enters the battlefield, tap X target creatures. Put a stun counter on each of those creatures you don't control. Tap creatures you control have hexproof. So it's a good way to be able to flash in, save a few of your creatures, or you can go through and tap at the end of your opponent. You can flash it in to tap down all of your opponent's creatures, so you can be able to get in and get a good attack phase in. Another rare, Lush Porcado. Land, it's a forest and a plains. Lush Porcado enters the battlefield tapped. When this card enters the battlefield, surveil 1. Look at the top card of your library. You can put that card in your graveyard. So that's fun. It's a 2 rare pack. So it's just if it has a good assortment of cards for at least a few different colors, which will be great for when it comes to draft or a sealed environment. So let's go ahead and on to the next pack and see if we get anything super cool. A Mysterious Creature. Here's that new morph effect. Mysterious Creature. It's a creature. It's a 2/2. You can cover a face-down creature with this reminder card. A face-down creature that was cloaked or cast with a disguise has Ward 2. Whenever that creature becomes a target of a spell or ability, opponent controls counter it unless a player pays 2 colorless mana. And you could flip it over for whatever the mysterious morph type spell effect is. One of the new full art forest. Riftbond Hellion. Hey, it's Angzrag, the Quake Mold for 1 red, 1 green, 2 colorless. It's an 8/4. Whenever Angzrag, the Quake Mold, becomes blocked, untap each creature you control after this combat phase. There's an additional combat phase. And then you could pay 7, 2 red, 2 green, 3 colorless. Angzrag must be blocked each combat if this turn if able. This card's cool if you're able to give it indestructible or pump up its toughness significantly, and then you can just get a series of attacks in over and over and over again, and hopefully do some damage to your opponent. And then, yeah, only 1 rare in that pack, and then there's a few different showcase variants in this set. This one happens to be one that is the theme of it is there's a murder at Karlov Manor, and they are trying to investigate what happened. So that happens to be one of those. And then I like this showcase artwork, the border the best. I think this one is fantastic. I can't wait to see some of the rares in that. So let's go into the next pack, see what else we can get. So far, out of 2 packs, we got 3 rares. That's not horrible. Another art card. And then Surveillance Monitor, which is a foil uncommon. Callan Inquisitive Prodigy, 1 green, 1 blue, 2 colorless. For a legendary creature, human fairy detective, it's a 3/4 flying vigilance. Whenever this card attacks, destroy up to 1 target artifact. If you control that permanent, draw a card. Or on the adventure side, it's a sorcery for 1 blue, 1 green, and you get to investigate. You play additional land this turn. So it's not quite where you get to draw an extra card and then play a land, but for an extra 2 mana, you're able to go through and do that. Another rest of them are going to be uncommons. I like these borders. Those are kind of fun. I'm not huge into all those different kinds of borders, but sometimes you get one that is better than others. Go on to the next packs. Get Clue Token. Got Plains. Fanatical Strength. And then, another Mythic. Vein Ripper. 3 black, 3 colorless. Creature, Vampire, Assassin, Flying. Ward. They have to sacrifice a creature to target it. Whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. And 6/5 Flying Vampire Assassin. Let's go and write my Edward Markov deck. And the rest of these are uncommons. Yeah, looks like a good assortment of colors, which will be great for going through and doing draft or playing sealed, which I'm excited about playing sealed later today at my local game store. Clue token, regular land, course to kill. There's a rare, only one rare in this pack. This rare is Unyielding Gatekeeper for 1 white, 1 colorless. Creature, Elephant, Cleric, Disguise, 1 white and 1 colorless. You can pay 3 to put it in play face down. And it's a 2/2 while it's face down. And then when it's turned face up, exile another target non-land permanent. If you controlled it, return it to the battlefield tapped. Otherwise, its controller creates a 2/2 white and blue detective creature token. It's an interesting card. I don't, for a 3/2 for 3, or 3/2 for 2, that's not horrible stats, but I think there might be better cards. It costs a lot to go through and do the disguise. Another art card. Wow, there's a lot going on in that picture. The swamp behind the mask, and then connecting the dots. I always see the picture of Charlie Day when I'm thinking about this, where he's all trying to connect the dots. Well, this one's 1 red, 1 colorless enchantment. Whenever a creature you control attacks, exile top card of your library face down. You can't look at it, and then you can pay a red, 1 colorless, discard your hand, sacrifice connecting the dots, put all cards exiled with connecting the dots into their owner's hands. So there you go, and it was only a 1 rare pack, which I think that's going to be kind of the standard. So far we've only had 1 pack with multiple rares. Next pack. Wolf token. Plains. A foil rare. Blood Splatter Analysis. 1 red, 1 black. And it's an enchantment. When Blood Splatter Analysis enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to target creature and opponent controls. Whenever 1 or more creatures die, mill a card and put a Bloodstain counter on Bloodstain Analysis. Then sacrifice it if it has 5 or more Bloodstain counters on it. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Does a lot. I think this card's kind of cool. It, comes into play. It deals 3 damage to a creature and opponent controls. And then, whenever creatures die, you get to mill a card and then put Bloodstain counters on it. And then sooner or later, you're going to put a creature in your hand. Ooh, another rare, or another mythic, which is always, appreciate. Elquist, a Prophet Master Sleuth. He's the guy who's trying to find out who was who murdered someone at murder at Karlov Manor. For 1 white, 1 blue, 1 colorless, 3/3 legendary creature, human detective. Pretty good stats with vigilance. And when it enters the battlefield, you get to investigate. So you get to create a clue token, and then you get to pay 2 blue, 1 white, and then X, sacrifice a clue, draw X cards, and you gain X life. So late game, you can do some work. And that was it for that. It's a pretty good pack for draft. I'm excited about today. I don't know if you can tell. The pre-release events are always my favorite. Good times had by all. Everyone gets to take the time to read their cards, not make assumptions. Another art card. Foil Mountain. Soul Search. Expedited Inheritance. 2 red enchantment. Whenever a creature is dealt damage, its controller may exile that many cards from their top of their library. Then may play those cards until the end of their next turn. This is interesting. This is all about if you want to deal damage to your own things to be able to try to get card advantage. This might go well in a red and red-black deck where you're dealing damage to your own things, or maybe a red-green deck where you have dinosaurs that do damage to themselves. So you're able to get some card advantage. Other than that, it's an interesting card. I don't know if I'm going to really want to build around it, and I'd be very disappointed to get that card in a limited format, because it's difficult to get card advantage on that, because your opponents will also be able to use that card. On to the next pack. Another art card. There's our first set card. High Alert. 1 blue, 1 white 1/1 is and one colorless enchantment. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Creatures you control can attack as though they didn't have a defender, and then you can pay 4 mana to untap target creature. Interesting. Full card, and then Forensic Gadgeteer, 1 blue, 2 colorless creature. Valdigan, Artificer Detective. It's a 2/3. When you cast an artifact spell, investigate. So you get to create a clue token. Activate abilities of artifacts you control. Cost 1 less to activate. Includes that clue token. This effect can't reduce the mana cost to less than 1 mana. So, those clues you can start activating from 1 mana once he comes into play. Yeah, it's an interesting little card. Oh, another rare. 10th Distroked Hero. 1 white, 1 colorless. Creature human, it's a 2/3, and then it gains abilities as time goes on. For 1 white, 1 colorless, collective evidence 2. So collect evidence means if you have 2 cards in your graveyard, you can exile them from your graveyard to make this guy a 10th District Hero, becomes a human detective with base power and toughness of 4/4 and gains vigilance, and then you can collect evidence of 4 and paying 3 mana if he's a detective. So if you activated the ability before, he becomes legendary creature named Mileva the Stalwart. It has mace power and toughness of a 5/5, and it gains other creatures you control have indestructible. So as time goes on, it's the board states change. That guy gets better, and the rest of these are going to be all commons and uncommons. Look at that, Candlestick, just like Clue. It's going to be the 10th District Hero. Took the Candlestick and beat someone to death with it. On to the next pack. A lot of packs in this box. That's kind of fun. Too bad that the boxes cost more. It's a good way for Wizards to make money. Another art card. Goblin Warchief as this set card. Goblin Warchief is 2 red, 1 colorless creature. Goblin Warrior. Goblin spells you cast cost 1 less, and then goblins control have haste. Great for a goblin deck. Another foil card, and then Krenko's Buzz Crusher. So it's 2 red, 2 colorless artifact creature, Insectopter, for 4/4 flying trample. And when it enters the battlefield for each player, destroy up to 1 non-basic land card that player controls. For each land destroyed this way, its controller may search his library for a basic land card and put it in the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So for a 4-cost, 4/4 flying trample, which flying in red, that's always going to be appreciated. You're able to go through and destroy an important piece, especially if you're playing against a Land Matters deck. Someone that's playing a 5-color, you're able to destroy one of their odd manas. That can be certain doom for some players, but that's kind of cool. The rest of the pack, not bad for 3 gold cards. That's kind of a lot for gold cards for draft or any kind of limited format. Next pack, another art card. Island, Seasoned Consultant. There we go. Homicide Investigator, 1 black, 1 colorless. When 1 or more non-token creatures you control die, investigate. This ability only triggers once each turn. I'm going to throw this in my Thopter deck because Thopters are going to die lots, and then you're able to create clue tokens, which help you build your board state. The card's kind of fun. The rest, that was only 1 rare pack. On to the next one. Our card, Mountain, foil 10th District Hero, which we've already gone over that card, and Case of the Locked Hothouse, 1 green, 3 colorless. So this is a case. Cases kind of work like they're very similar to sagas, except for the fact that sagas happen every turn, or when you add tokens to it. This one you have to you have to solve what happens. So the first one, when it comes into play, you get to have that effect. This one is you may play an additional land card on each of your turns, which is kind of cool, especially if you're playing lots of land. And then to solve, you control 7 or more lands, so you solved it. And then if you If unsolved, solve at the beginning of your end step. So instead of happening right before your draw step, it happens at the end of your turn. If it's solved, you may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may play lands and cast creature spells and enchantments from the top of your library. This card is bonkers. I can't wait to put this in a Tom Bombadil deck. I need to get a copy of it from my Lord Windgrace deck. This card's kind of cool. And then the rest, not too bad for color distribution. On to the next pack. Clue token. Forest. Project Inspector. There's 2 foils in this one. Blood Splatter Analysis. Regular one. So, the rest of it, commons and uncommons. Go on to the next pack. Art card. That's definitely someone who got murdered. Another foil rare, Steam Core Scholar. 1 blue, 2 colorless. Creature, weird detective. It's not someone who's weird. It's a type of creature. Spelled W-E-I-R-D. Flying Vigilance. It's a 2/2. When this card enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards. Then discard 2 cards unless you discard an instant sorcery or a creature card with flying. So lets you get some extra cards, helps you build your board state instead of having to play instants and sorcerers, but you're going to be playing those anyways because you're playing blue, and you want to start going through your cards to get better solutions for what's happening in play. Next one, Illicit Masquerade. I love this art. Lots going on here. Well, people are wearing all kinds of different costumes or disguises. For 1 black, 3 colors, Enchantment Flash. When Illicit Masquerade enters the battlefield, put an imposter counter on each creature you control. Whenever a creature you control with an imposter counter dies, exile it. Return it up to 1 other target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, something dies, you're able to go through and exchange it for something else that is already in your graveyard. Lots of fun, lots of possible combos, especially if you're playing red, getting cards into your graveyard, or even now with blue, you're able to get lots of cards in your graveyard as well. That Graveyard Matters will love that card. So these are commons, uncommons. Ooh, that's a pretty looking card. We'll stop and look at it just because. Insidious Roots, 1 green, 1 black. Enchantment. Creatures tokens you control have tap to add 1 mana of any color, and then whenever 1 or more creature cards leave your graveyard, create a 0/1 green plant creature token, then put a +1/+1 counter on each plant you control. So, Illicit Masquerade. Well, these cards work very well together for some reason. Let's, maybe something will happen in the future between those. We'll see. Either way, I'll be looking at both of those cards for my Mirren deck or my Sidisi deck. Detective Token, Plains, Branch of Vitu Kaze, and then the rare, double rare pack. First one is Wojek Investigator, 1 white, 2 colorless creature, Angel, Detective, Flying Vigilance. At the beginning of your upkeep, investigate once for each opponent who has more cards in hand than you. That is the same card as what the box topper is. It just has different art, and I'm a big fan of that full art, but it's still a really good card. Kylox and Visionary Inventor, 1 red, 1 blue, 5 colorless, 4/4 legendary creature, Viashino Artificer, Menace, Ward 2, and a haste. And when this card attacks, sacrifice any number of other creatures, you then exile the top X cards of your library, where X is their total power. You may cast any number of instants and or sorcery spells from among those exile cards without paying their mana cost. Wow. No wonder this guy costs 7, because he is going to do a lot. Unfortunately, it's not when he comes into play. It's when he attacks, so he has to make it around to his turn. Well, it has haste, which is good, but still, people have a chance of being able to pay that ward cost and some kind of instant be able to kill it before it can go off and do some craziness. The rest of these are some interesting commons and uncommons. On to the next pack. Clue token. Mountain. That's uncommon, and War Leader's Call. This card's interesting, especially for a go wide strategy. And go wide strategy means if you're going to be playing lots of creature tokens, lots of little creatures. Either way, one white, one red, one colorless. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, this card deals 1 damage to each opponent. So it's all about, I want to create a bunch of tokens, and more tokens, and more tokens, and more tokens, and my opponents are going to take some damage, and my tokens happen to be bigger than what you think they're going to be. Next one, ooh, double rare pack, and this one happens to be one of the investigations borders, which this one's 1 white, 1 colorless, 1/2 Doorkeeper Thrall. Creature Thrall, flash flying. Artifacts and creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. Well, that's one way to shut down someone's deck. Hope not to see that for a lot of my ETB effects. Lots of rare pack, lots of red pack. Hopefully I would see that if I'm playing red. Let's go on to the next pack. So far, so good. We're about just over 35%, 40% of the way through. Lightning Helix. Well, that card's back, and that one's a foil one, which is great. Lightning Helix is not a rare, but we'll go ahead and go over it because this is a great card from Magic's history, and it's a great uncommon. If you're playing red-white, you want to play with 4 copies of this. Card's amazing. Lightning Helix it's an instant. Lightning Helix deals 3 damage to any target, and you gain 3 life. Period. And so, it's incredible. Archdruid's Charm. This card is bonkers. It does so much. 3 green. It's an instant. You have to choose one. Search your library for a creature or land card and reveal it. Put it on the battlefield tapped if it's a land. Otherwise, put it into your hand. Then shuffle. And then you can put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Or you can exile target artifact or enchantment. It does so much. Oh, double rare pack. Raucous Theater. Land, swamp, and mountain. It taps to reduce a red or a black. Raucous Theater enters the battlefield tapped. When a theater enters the battlefield, you get Surveil 1. Those cards. This land cycle is amazing. I'm excited to be able to put those in a bunch of my commander decks. I think they are even better than the temples. So much better than temples because I love putting things in the graveyard. There's really a burning something. The Mole Man's Rampage. 2 red, 3 colorless sorcery. Destroy all artifacts you don't control, then exile exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of artifacts that were put in the graveyards from the battlefield. This turn, you may put a creature card exile this way onto the battlefield. It gains haste. Return to the hand at the beginning of your next end step. So you can destroy a bunch of artifacts if your opponent's playing a lot of clue tokens or food tokens or mana rocks, or there's a lot of different options. This card will probably see quite a bit of, this could do a lot of upgrading to existing commander decks. I think this card's kind of cool. Commons and comments. On to the next pack. Yeah, we are rolling. Mysterious creature token, mountain. Another set card, Leonin Relic Warder for 2 white. It's a 2/2 cat cleric. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile target artifact or enchantment. When it leaves the battlefield, return the exile card to the battlefield under its owner's control. On to double rare pack. Let's go ahead and take a look. Murder. That's a cool murder. Old card getting reprint. So, first one is Pyrotechnic Performer. 1 red, 1 colorless creature, Viashino Assassin, disguise of 1 red. So, you can pay 3 to put in play, face down. And then you can pay a red to turn it face up anytime. And then when Pyrotechnic Performer or another creature you control is turned face up, that creature deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. So it rewards you for playing lots of disguise or morph cards. Interesting. Very interesting. Otherwise, it is a 3/2 for 2. I don't know how much play it's going to see, but Elegant Parlor. Full art. Extended, I should say. Elegant Parlor enters the battlefield tapped, and then when it Enters the battlefield. It's surveil 1, and it's a mountain and plain, so it produces white and red. Man, I love seeing those lands. I need to get full playset. Yep, need a playset. Another art card. Flip that around. Island. Bite down on crime. And the rare, Case of the Ransacked Lamb. 1 blue, 2 colorless, instant and sorcerer spells cost 1 less than the cast. To solve, you cast 4 more instants and or sorcery spells this turn. So it's going to reward you for playing lots of cheap spells. Solved, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you get to draw a card. Woo! That one turn you have to play 4 more instants or sorcery spells is going to really punish you, but then after that, you're going to draw lots and lots of cards. This is a pretty cool card, especially in a deck that makes it so you have to go through and surveil or scry a ton. Yeah, that card's kind of fun. Kind of fun. The rest are commons and uncommons. Not bad distribution. On to the next pack. Keep it rolling. Art card. Millstone. 2 colorless artifact. Pay 2 and tap it. Target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into his or her graveyard. Okay. Another case. This one's a red one. 1 red, 2 colorless. When in this case enters the battlefield, discard a card, then draw 2 cards. Interesting. To solve, you have no cards in your hand. At the beginning of your upkeep, discard your hand, then draw 2 cards. So if you are playing a red deck wins or something that is going to make you go through a bunch of your cards, yep, this card can help you out. And then another elegant parlor, but this one is a standard version. It's not extended, so double rare packs are always welcome. On to the next one. Feels like I already got that art card today. Let's see. Leyline of the Guild Pack. Check this out. So, white green or blue green or black green or red green. Leyline of the Guild Pack is an enchantment. If it's in your opening hand, you can begin the game with it on the battlefield. So, if you have 7 of them in your or 4 of them in your deck, you're able to, and you happen to draw one in your opening hand. Just happens to start in play. Each non-land permanent you control is all colors. Lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types. So everything is 5 color for you, and everything is also, all your lands are all 5 types. Interesting. I don't know how much play that's going to see because it really doesn't do anything itself, and cards that don't do anything themselves don't really see much play these days. Next pack. Of course, I'm sure someone's going to create a combo deck that will abuse it. We'll see. Forest. Okay. The Pride of Hullclade. 1 green, 10 colorless. Legendary creature, crocodile, elk, turtle. So it should just be a mutant as well. It's a 2/15. This spell costs X less the cast, where X is the total toughness of creatures you control. Defender. 2 blue, 2 colorless, until end of turn. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player. Draw cards equal to its toughness and can attack as though it didn't have Defender. Woo! Wow. So if you attack, if you pay the 4 and attack with it and it gets through, you're going to be doing 3 damage to someone, and then you get to draw 15 cards. That's backbreaking. Another one of those awesome lands. Commercial District. Land Mountain Force produces a red or a green. Commercial District enters the battlefield tapped. When Commercial District enters the battlefield, you get to surveil 1. The rest are commons and uncommons. On to the next pack. We're already at 30-minute mark. If you guys have watched this so far, I appreciate it. You know, if you can like and subscribe, I'd like it even more. If you can share it, oh, that'd be much appreciated. So next rare audience with Trostani. 1 green, 2 colorless sorcery. We've already seen this card. Create a 0/1 green plant creature token, and then, oh, we haven't seen this one. Create a 0/1 green plant creature token, then draw cards equal to the number of different name creature tokens you control. So it's the go wide strategy, and it's a draw for. And then another Awesome land. Undercity sewers, land, island swamps. So it taps reduce blue or black. Undercity sewers enters the battlefield tap. And when it enters the battlefield, you get the Surveil 1. I'll have to check out and see how many of those lands I've gotten at the end. So far, you know, we're about 2/3 of the way through. And look at this. These are fantastic. I don't know if they're going to retain value after people going through and opening a ton of these cards, but I have a feeling that they will be worth, that they'll hold their value and if not increase. You know, we're 2/3 of the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we got 6 of them. Wow, that's pretty good. That's actually really, really good. I'm thrilled with that so far. I'll separate those, put those aside, just so I can see how many of those we got at the end of the box opening. And keep rolling. Barb Servitor, 1 black, 3 colorless, artifact creature construct 1/1, and it has indestructible. So when it enters the battlefield, you get to suspect it. It has menace and can't block. And then whenever Barb Servitor deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. So it's gonna give you some cards if someone when it is dealt damage, target opponent loses that much life. Wow! Wow! Talk about punishing your opponent. You know, it comes into play, and if it's a suspect, that stinks. But the thing is, it is going to be making it so people, you know, it's going to have menace on it, and so it's a 1/1. Have to block with 2 creatures. 2 creatures are going to do a lot of damage to that. You know, on average, 2 2s, you're going to do 4 damage to that. So it's like your opponent taking 4. If they don't block, you get to draw a card. That's pretty good. For 4 costs, I don't know if it's great, but it's cool. It's cool. On to the next pack. Art card, Swampage. Judith, Carnage Connoisseur. Carnage Connoisseur. That's a interesting way of looking at it. She's a legendary creature, human shaman for 1 black, 1 red, 3 colorless, 3/4. When you cast an instant or sorcery spell, choose 1. That spell gains death, touch, and lifelink. So, you know, do 1 damage to all your opponent's creatures. Well, they're all dead now, and you gained, 4 or 5 or 6 or however many creatures they were number of life. Then create a 2/2 red imp creature token with, when this creature dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Fun. The rest are rare, commons, and uncommons. On to the next pack. Next pack, please. We're still going. Woo! We got, including this pack, we got 10 packs left. 36, that's quite a bit. 1 rare pack. Outrageous Robbery. 2 black, X colorless, instant. Target opponent exiles the top X cards of their library face down. You may look at it and play those cards for as long as they remain exiled. If you cast a spell this way, you may spend mana as if they were any color to cast it. Interesting. If you have lots of mana, it's kind of cool. If not, it's not a great card. I guess it can also go in a mill deck. But, people who play mill decks, there's a special place for you in the HELL. Clue token. Island. Demand answers. That's a cool looking card. As additional cost, they cast a spell, sacrifice an artifact, or discard a card. Draw 2 cards as an instant. That's pretty cool. Single rare pack. Lazav, Wearer of Faces, 1 black, 1 blue. Legendary creature, shapeshifter, detective, 2/3. 2/3 for 2. That's pretty decent stats. And then when he attacks, exile target card from a graveyard, then investigate. So you get to get rid of some of the cards in opponent's graveyards, and then, or you can get rid of your own stuff. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, you may have Lazav become a copy of a creature card exiled with it until end of turn. Wow, And you can do that anytime. So if you need to add some toughness, you can do that. Or even better, if you're attacking and they decide not to block, you can go through and make it a copy of, well, where's that big crocodile? Ooh, painful. And you can draw 15 cards. Fun, fun, fun. Next pack. Detective token, forests. Field Historian, Quaternarius. 1 red, 1 white, 3 colorless, 2/4. Spirits you control get +1/+0. One or more cards. Leave your graveyard. Create a 3/2 white and red spirit token. And that's a set card. Single rare pack. Ill-timed explosion. 1 red, 1 blue, 2 colorless. Draw 2 cards. Then you may discard 2 cards. When you do, ill-timed explosion deals X damage to each creature, where X is the greatest mana value among cards discarded this way. So if you're able to go through and discard a very expensive, high cost stuff, you get to destroy all creatures in play. That's not horrible, and you've drawn some cards. Let's go into the next pack. There's including this pack, there's 7 packs left. Man, really tearing through these packs. The rare Coveted Falcon, 2 blue, 1 colorless, artifact creature, bird, flying. When Coveted Falcon attacks, gain control of target permanent you own but don't control. You can disguise it. Comes into play as the disguise. Flip it face up. Put it in play for 3 colorless, and then you can flip it face up for that 1 blue, 1 colorless. When it is turned face up, target opponent gains control of any number of target permanents you control. Draw a card for each one they gain control of this way. So you can go ahead and attack with it face down, and then all of a sudden you flip it up after you give your opponent everything, and you can draw lots of things, and then you get gain control of at least one of them back. The rest are going to be commons and uncommons. 6 packs left. Here's number 6. Clue token, swamp token, full common, single rare pack. Those are going to be commons. Commons. Analyze the pollen, 1 grain, sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may collect evidence at 8. Exile cards with total mana value of 8 or greater from your graveyard. If you put 3 or 4 cards in your graveyard, you might be able to hit that pretty quick. Search your library for a basic land card. If evidence was collected, instead search your library for a creature or land card, reveal that card, and put it in your hand, then shuffle. Helps you get what you need. There we go. This is the 5th of the last 5 packs. 5 glass. Double rare pack. Reenact the crime. 3 blue, 1 colorless instant. Exile target non-land card from in a graveyard that was put there from anywhere this turn. Copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. All for 4 mana. It seems expensive, but it might enable to do something. Assemble the players. 1 white, 1 colorless enchantment. You may look at the top card of your library. Once each turn, you may cast a creature spell with power 2 or less from the top of your library. Helps the go wide strategy really go. And I think this card has some potential. It has some potential in quite a few different decks, especially ones that are like the white weenie decks of old. Single rare pack. Case of the Stashed Skeleton. A Stashed Skeleton. 1 black, 1 colorless. When this case enters a battlefield under your control, battlefield, you get to create a 2/1 black skeleton token and suspect it. It has menace and can't block. To solve, you control no suspected skeletons. So you attack in with that creature. Hopefully it dies. If it doesn't, you get to just keep doing damage. Sooner or later, they'll block with 2 creatures, and then it will become solved. Solved, you pay a black and a colorless, sacrifice this case, search your library for a card, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. Activate only as a sorcery. So It is a poor man's demonic tutor. Best way to keep from people searching is not to destroy their stuff. Of course, if you don't destroy their stuff, they get to keep doing damage to them. It's a clock. Ooh, full rare. Double rare pack. Let's see what you got. First one is Yoris, Roar of the Old Gods. 1 green, 1 red, 2 colorless, legendary creature, centaur, druid. Other creatures you control have haste. Whenever one or more face down creatures you control deal damage to a player, you get to draw a card. Whenever a face down creature you control dies, returns to the battlefield face down under its owner's control. If it's a permanent card, then turn it face up. Wow. That feels like it is a card specifically made for Commander that will want you to play with those suspect cards. And then the second rare of the pack, Ezreal, Agency Chief. 2 blue, 2 colorless, or 2 blue, 2 white, 1 colorless legendary creature, Archon Detective, 5/5 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you get to investigate twice, so you get 2 clue tokens, 1 colorless mana, sacrifice an artifact. Azram gains your choice of Vigilance, Lifelink, or Hexproof till end of turn. So keeping those clue tokens will pay off because you get to save your creature. 2 packs left. Here's number 2. Let's go. Haven't seen too many mythics yet, so here's one of those punch-out tokens to be able to give some different effects. Case solved. Suspect tokens, that type of thing. That's interesting. And then single rare pack. No witnesses. 2 white, 2 colorless sorcery. Each player who controls the most creatures investigates, then destroy all creatures. There you go. So it's a cheap Wrath of God. Everyone likes that. Next and last pack, number 36. Another art card. Island. Double rare pack. It's a good rare to finish on. Assassin's Trophy. This is a reprint. 1 green, 1 black. Instant. Destroy target permanent and opponent controls. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it in the battlefield, and then shuffle. Destroys any permanent. Your opponent gets a basic land, but it's so good. This card is going to see tons of play. It's back, and it's going to be amazing. And then another Homicidal Investigator. Kind of cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this box opening. At the end, I got, out of these new Surveil lands, I got a total of 6. 6 is not bad. I believe that you're supposed to get between 4 and 6, so I got on the high side. None of them are foils, which is not great, but you know, these lands are going to see a lot of play. I can't wait to play with them. I need to get the red-blue deck, or red-blue one. I got the black-blue one for Surveil deck. This is great. I'm having lots of fun with this set. I hope you guys are too. And until next time, I hope you have a great day and have a fantastic time at your local pre-releases this weekend. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please take the time to like the video and subscribe if you'd like to stay updated. Have a great day and keep them rolling.